Alright, so what's up, fishing freaks? Since it's still raining and I still can't go out fishing, I thought I'd film a tutorial on how to rig for striped bass. And I'm just gonna start off with my setup. So in the Petaluma River and Napa River, you're only allowed to use one pole. And hold up, let me scoot you guys a little bit closer. And the poles I use are ugly sticks. And I'll write that big on the screen, but I either use, so I bought this about 2-3 years ago, and it's an ugly stick. It's an ugly stick catfish rod, and it's 7 feet, and I love it because it's sturdy, it's heavy duty, and it's in between being too long and being not too long and not too short, and I can cast it a good distance. So yeah, so this is the first pole. I'll either use this one or I'll use this guy, and this guy's already rigged for striper, but this is actually, let me cut this rig off and I'll show you guys. So this is the second pole I usually use, and it's an Ugly Stick Big Water. Here we go, Ugly Stick Big Water, and it's also 7 feet tall. So yeah, I just like the 7 feet poles when I'm fishing on land. I don't need to cast that far, so, and it's perfect for casting in the Petaluma River or the Napa River. And if I need a bigger pole, I usually just scale up to my 10 foot, or if I need a lighter pole, I'll just scale down to a 6'6". And yeah, but these are the poles I use when I'm striper fishing from the shore. And remember, I'm only using either one. You can't fish with 2 poles, you can only fish with 1. Alright, so those are the 2 poles I'm using from shore, and then I'll make another video on what I use for my kayak. I actually have 2 separate poles. I don't use these 2 poles for my kayak. And yeah, and when I'm on a boat, I usually bring these 2, or I usually bring either one of these on the boat too if I'm fishing with my friend. So yeah, and let me show you guys my striper box. So I use these salt resistant tackle boxes. They're anti-corrosion, and they work great. I've been using them since I was a little kid. I used to have the normal tackle boxes, and all of my gear would be rusty in them, and I learned that the hard way from fishing in salt water and then putting my lures back in the box. So these are great. Get one of these saltwater fishing boxes if you guys get the chance. I'm not sure the brand. It's, oh wait, here we go. It's Flambeau, I think. I don't know if you can see that right there, but yeah, they're saltwater resistant, so it keeps your pole safe. Let me get a close up for you guys. So my box is a little bit messy right now because I haven't really cleaned it up, which I need to. Alright, so here is my striper box. I don't know if you guys can see it, but there we go. I got all my jig heads. All my jig heads right here. I got my jerk bait. Big jerk bait right here. I got jerk baits, or I got rattle traps right here, and I got slim baits right here, right here, right here, and right here. And I got my hooks right here, 2 different size hooks. I use 2 different size hooks depending on if I'm using live bait or if I'm using grass shrimp. And then I got my swivels, my barrel swivels, and then I got my snap swivels right here. The barrel swivels, snap swivels. And yeah, and I'll just go in depth on what kind of swim baits I use. So when I'm fishing the Petaluma River or Napa River, I usually use white, the color white. I think they can just see it better in the water, but in my opinion, it doesn't really matter because the water is so murky, and I think it all depends on that tail. So if you get a really good paddle tail, they can feel that movement in the murky water, and then they're able to strike that. So if you guys just make sure you get a good quality paddle tail, and then you'll be set. And then when I see a school of striper busting, they're actively feeding, like you can see them going wild out there. I like to use jerk baits. And you can either use a giant jerk bait, which is like this. This is a SP Minnow, and it's about 4.5 inches to 5 inches long. So yeah. And I actually prefer using these tiny jerk baits better for when they're going crazy. And then for my jig heads, I got quarter ounce to half ounce jig heads. Sometimes the striper, they don't want a big bait. Like you'll see them chasing bait down, and they won't be eating like a large bait. They'll be chasing like these minnows that are like this small. So that's why I carry these smaller jig heads. They're kind of a size up from like a crappie jig head, but and I like to pair them up with like a tiny minnow size swim bait like this, and they work great for striper who are kind of finicky, and they're kind of eating on smaller bait fish. So yeah. And I'm just gonna rig up a striper rig for you guys, a live bait rig, and then I'll do a high-low rig for you guys. So a fish finder rig and a high-low rig, and I'll show you guys how I do it. Alright, so I'll just use my white pole for now. Send you guys back. Alright, so the first thing you're going to want to do is get your line all throughout the guides. Make sure your spool is lifted up like this, so you guys can just close your bail and then it'll be set. But we're going to put your line all through the guides all the way up to the top. Sorry if you're like, well, isn't that like common sense? Well, I'm assuming there's some people who haven't fished for striper, and then they're just watching my video and like, how do I fish for striper, or how do I set up my pole? Alright. So just like that. Alright. So I got my line. I closed my bail. So here's the end of my line right here. Alright, so here's the end of my line right here, and then we're gonna tie up right now. And then, so first thing we're gonna do is I don't use sliders when I'm striper fishing. I'm not a fan of the sliders because they're made out of plastic, and I've had a couple of them snap on me in the past where the slider would just break. So that's why I prefer these snap swivels, just direct snap swivels. And you grab your snap swivel, and then you clip on the weight you want to use for striper fishing in the Napa River and the Petaluma River. The current doesn't get too fast, so a 2 ounce is what I use, but I'll go all the way up to a 3 ounce if I really need it. 4 ounce would be kind of overkill to me, so yeah, I'm gonna snap on a 2 ounce right now, and then we're just gonna put this through the line. So just like that. So here's my weight. snap swivel through the line. Just like that. And then after that, we're just gonna let that slide down. And then we're on this end, we are going to tie a barrel swivel. And then we're just gonna do a simple uni knot. We don't need to get crazy, just a uni knot will do. And oh yeah, I forgot to tell you guys. So on my reel right now, I have 50-pound tests and 40-pound tests. So that's that. I use kind of heavy line because I'm afraid of catching stingrays and stuff. So and leopard sharks. So that's why I keep the heavy line on with me. And then yeah. So we're gonna put the line through the hole, and then we're gonna push it up. So the line, I just put the line through the hole. And after that, with your tag end, so with the line with the end on it, you're gonna make a loop, one loop, and then you're gonna want to bring it back to your fingers like this. And remember, this is called a uni knot. And see this? You got your line and then your circle, and then you're gonna want to bring your line, your tag end line, through the circle and the main line into the circle, and then around the main line 6 times. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and then cinch, just like that. And then I should have wet it with my lips, but I forgot. So next time, wet it with your lips. It'll help the knot go much smoother. And then we're gonna cut our excess line off. For my leader, I actually only use 25-pound tests, so I use 25 or 30-pound tests for my leader. And then I usually use this. This is what I use, and I use this color. And I've tried different color lines. Don't use neon. Trust me, I've used neon and it doesn't work. And I'm talking about bright neon line. Do not use that line. I've tried so much. I've tried using it for striper fishing and I had no luck. And I've tried multiple times. Alright, and then for my hooks, I am not a fan of circle hooks. I can't get the hook set right. I know it's better for the fish and it hooks in the lips, but let me show you guys a different kind of hook that I use. And it's called a K hook or a Kale hook. And I love these because when the fish takes it, it'll basically, in my experience with live bait, it'll hook itself. So like you'll see your pole go like wham, and then right when you yank it, you'll get the fish. Man, I'm getting excited talking about fishing. I wish I could go fishing, but oops. But I usually use a 3/0 or 4/0 hook for live bait, and then yeah. So this, I don't know what this knot is called, but this is what I usually do. So I got the hook facing up, right, with my K hook. And try the K hook, guys. Try it. Just trust me and try it. You guys might love it. I love it way more than the circle hooks. All right. So you got your line, you got your hook. So you go up through the hook, and then after that, you're gonna want to face your hook up like this. And then you want to go around the hook and around your thumb 4 times. 1, 2, 3. Hold up, I need more line. Alright, so 1, 2, 3, 4. And it'll look like this. And then you're gonna want to put the tag end of the line through the 4 holes you made. And you're going to bite the line and pull just like this, and a cinch. And then I like this rig because it ties around the actual hook instead of on top, instead of just on the hole. It ties around the hook like this. Alright, so after we do that, we're gonna cut the tag end off. And then you're gonna wanna spread the line about, let's see, about 2 feet long. So 2 feet long is gonna be your leader. So you got your, it's like this long, guys, if you guys can do that. 2 feet. 2 feet long. And then cut. And then after that, you're gonna go back to your swivel that you tied on earlier, and then we're just gonna do a uni knot to the barrel swivel. And you guys are probably gonna be like, why don't you use any other kind of knot? Well, a uni knot's basic, everyone knows it, so that's why we're doing it. So like earlier, we're just gonna make a circle and then wrap it around into the circle and the main line 6 times. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and then cinch, just like that, and then cut off the excess. And then here we go. This is your rig. So your weight can slide back and forth just like this. So you got your weight, your swivel, and all the way to your hook. So just like that. Alright, and that's your striper rig. And if you guys check out my other videos, you'll see how I hook bullheads and mudsuckers. I hook them right from the bottom lip. Right from the bottom lip to the top lip. Just like that. And then I actually hook both lips because it stays on the hook better. Sometimes the striper like to mess with your bait, and then they'll knock the hook out of the live bait's mouth. So like out of the bullhead's mouth or the mudsucker's mouth. So yeah, and then that's basically it. And then if I'm fishing with grass shrimp, I'll just use a 1/0 hook instead of like a 3/0 or 4/0 hook. And I'm still using K hooks. And if you watch one of my other striper videos where I fish for grass shrimp, I show you guys how to hook grass shrimp too, so check that out. And yeah, I think that's it. I showed you guys the fish finder rig. Oh, I can show you guys a high-low rig, but I think that's pretty basic. Well, I'll tie on a high-low rig for you guys just for the heck of it. So we're gonna cut this off, and I'm gonna show you how to tie on a high-low rig. Hook that we got from earlier. So with the high-low rig, if you're tying your own hooks, you want to get your hook. So you got your tied on hook, and then you got your tag end, right? So if you're tying your own hooks, to make the hook stay onto your line, you're gonna want to grab a circle, make a circle like this, cinch down a little bit, and then go around it twice. And then grab the main circle you made into the 2 circles that you made, just like that. And then cinch. And then cut off the tag end. We're gonna save that for later, but now you just tie directly to the weight. So the line to the weight's gonna be at the bottom, and it's called a high-low rig because you're gonna have 2 hooks, 1 hook on the top and 1 hook down on your line. And I'm just tying a uni knot again to the weight. And after that, to attach the hook, we just do a circle, and then 2 circles around that circle, And then after that, grab the main circle and then put it into 2 circles that you made. Just like that. And then you're gonna want to grab your hook and then put the circle from the hook into the circle from the main line. And then grab your hook and then put it into the circle. See the mono? So it's the same circle from the hook. It's not the braid. And then you're gonna want to just hold up. I made my tag end kind of long. That's why it's kind of hard to set. But after that, you just do that, and then it's connected. Cinch down, and then you got one hook connected down. One hook connected. Looks like this. And then you're just going to do the same thing on the top, and then there's your high-low rig. You'll basically attach another hook to the top, and then you have your hook on the bottom, and then whenever the fish bites, you can feel it directly from the main line. So a fish tugs, you'll see your pole move just like that. Whereas on the fish finder rig, when the fish bites your bait, your weight will stay in place, but then your line will move. Will move and indicate your pull. So yeah, and that's it for this. Hopefully I get to go fishing soon, but I hope you guys like this tutorial, and catch you guys next time. Hopefully it's out on the water.